course, we will use a MySQL database with Laravel. This default configuration is ready to work with Laravel Sail, which is what we're using within Codespaces. So if you're working locally using CRUD, this might look slightly different to you, but you don't have to change the defaults. It will work. A database with this name was already created when the app was created and ready to connect. So everything is set up for us to start working with this database. Before we start creating the table and writing some queries, let's use a GUI tool to interact with the database. This Codespace IDE already has a database client extension installed, so you should be able to see this database icon here. If you're working locally, you can download and install a tool like Table Plus. In Codespaces, open the database tool, click on Create Connection, and change these values to match the ones in the environment config. So host is MySQL, username is Sail, password is password. Let me change those. Host MySQL, username Sail, and password, and the database name is Laravel. Click on Connect. The connection is successful. If you're able to see this connection here, you can close this and expand this. You can see the Laravel database here with some default tables. Let's see what the users table has. For the moment, I want to delete some unnecessary columns here and keep this simple. So click on this edit icon and remove all the unnecessary columns like email verified, password, remember token. Yeah, even created that and updated that. Let me just keep only ID, name, and email for the moment. Alright, close this tab and refresh. Next, I want to manually create 2 random users. You can click on the yellow plus icon. You can type in any ID, any name, and email. Insert this column and create another user like john@example.com. Now from within our Laravel application, let's execute some raw SQL queries to fetch this data. Close this as well, and open web.php. Let's reuse this route. Instead of returning a view, let's fetch our users from the database and display them right here. This can be done in 3 different ways in Laravel. Number 1, using raw SQL queries. Number 2, query builder. And number 3 is eloquent ORM. Let's look at the first 2 methods in this video. You can execute raw SQL queries in Laravel with the help of the DB facade. A facade is a simplified interface for complex operations. You'll encounter more facades offered by Laravel in the upcoming videos. To run a raw select query, we can use the select method and we can specify our select query here. So here, let's simply select star from users, and I will remove the second parameter. We will get all the users. Let's store this. This DB is highlighted because we have to import the class. You can right click and select import class, and this will be done for you. Let's assign this to a variable called users and then dump and die to the browser. So DD is what we will use a lot to check what we get in this variable. Right, save this file, open the browser and refresh. So we fetched our users from the database. We can use other methods of the DB facade like delete, insert, update, and more. Next, let's fetch the same users from the database using the query builder instead of raw queries. This is once again done with the DB facade using the table method. Here, you specify the name of the table, and you can select only certain columns, like say you want only the name and email, and this has to be in an array. You can change this by further queries of where or where all, where any, and so on. For example, if we want to get only the users where the email is not null, we can say where not null email. You can even order this by any column. So let's say we'd like to order it by name, and so on. Finally, let's get the data. Once again, let me store this in the users variable and dd users. I will have to comment these out for this to work. Okay, save the file, go back and refresh the browser. Now this time, notice that we don't simply get an array like we did last time, we get a collection. A lot more can be done with Laravel collections, which we'll explore later in the course. Of course, here we have the data as requested, ordered by name, and only the selected columns. Though the query builder is powerful, for this course we will use eloquent ORM, which we'll explore soon.